Hey guys, we are back, man. Episode 215. What up, family? How y'all been, man? It's been 26 hours since
It's
we did
only
a
been
podcast.
24 hours, man.
Nah, it hasn't
Yeah,
even been
I know.
24 hours.
Not even. Yeah.
Yeah, it hasn't been 24 hours because we like talked shit before. But yeah, man, we back at it. Episode 215. We're talking insurrection. We're talking Danny's arrepentido. Arrepentidísimo. What's up? For not watching the
For watching Casa de Papel,
yeah,
dubbed.
money heist.
It's money heist.
Not
It's not Casa Papel.
It's Casa
no,
de
it's
Papel.
Casa de Papel. It's Casa de
No,
Papel.
it's not.
You go, man.
That's not.
Listen, bro. Don't make me cuss on the intro. All right, look. We talking that. We talking Urban Meyer's scumbag ass, and we're talking obviously January 6th, man. It's a big day. Right now, you're about to hear the intro for Man House Beats. Yo, what are you doing right now?
The big V. Look, man.
All right, man. Let's just jump right into this shit. So,
I made my wife wake up and drive me there anyway.
you,
Is it major?
Pues con eso. Pues con español.
¿Qué pasó, papá? ¿Cómo estás?
Any questions?
Now, when you bought that sweater, right? You just go, fuck it. I'm going full Mr. Rogers. You've tuned into the Man Chatter podcast. Look, man, as always, I got to get the first couple of words in, but I'm going to let y'all have this back and forth because Jonathan wanted to make sure we got this topic going right off top. All right, guys. Dub versus subtitles, man. Why, and what way do you watch it? On foreign shows, obviously, if you don't got that part.
I don't see what the big deal is. Like, I like to watch my shows in English.
You say that with a straight face, man.
I know.
I need a drink.
And it's Spanish, too, though. It's
Look,
like,
when I started watching Money Heist, the Spanish that they
Casa de
speak there
Papel.
is so,
Casa de Papel.
when I started watching Money Heist, it's so difficult to understand that Spanish that they speak over there that I'd rather just watch it in English. I don't see what the big deal is. You don't lose anything. You don't lose any emotion.
I mean, you say water, and we just let you just get away with it.
Exactly.
You're still not changing. There's no dubbing for you. You just say it. There's-
We do need
But
subtitles.
those are every other words. Their accent is extremely strong.
Their accent is strong, but they're speaking Spanish, and a lot of the phrases they use are phrases that you don't use, that I didn't use growing up in Miami, being Venezuelan Colombian. I'm sure you didn't use some of those phrases, some of the words. Like I told you in the WhatsApp, I had to pause the show to look up some of the things they said because it's specific to Spain or even certain areas in Spain.
You know what I never had to do? I never had to pause the show to go look up a word. I got to just enjoy it all the way through.
1 point for Danny right there.
You know what I did? I
this
still
is
enjoyed the
10-9
show.
right here.
No,
I still enjoyed the
no,
show,
you
man.
didn't. You
I
had to
did.
work to enjoy it. You're like, you know what? That might have been an important word. Let me look it up to make sure I got what that
Here's
meant.
the thing. I'm a lifelong learner. So not only did I enjoy the show, I learned something while watching it.
Uh-oh.
I
Learn
mean, it's
what?
like 2 for the price of 1.
Spaniard slang? I don't need to learn that shit.
It's not even
Just-
slang. Like some of them, we don't use some of those words.
So why do you want to learn it?
I'm moving to Spain in 5 years.
Okay, well, I'm not.
retiring there. Also,
this-
they speak Spanish, and their Spanish comes from La Real Academia, which is the proper Spanish, which is what we're supposed to be speaking. Having said that, look, I went to Spain. When my family moved to Spain years ago, they told me this is ridiculous what they speak here. We speak proper Spanish in Colombia and Venezuela because some of the Spanish that they speak here in Spain they don't even speak properly. One, they have the accent, and then a lot of the things that they say they're speaking in slang.
Mhm.
And I mean, I'm not going to debate when you go into like the different I call them
Dialects and
provinces
breakdown.
for that, right? Like
Yep.
Valencia and Barcelona, and like some of them aren't even in Madrid.
Barcelona's weird.
Yeah, well, it's a different language.
It is a different language.
Yeah,
Do you watch
Catalonia
it? Like Squid Games, did you watch that dubbed or did you read the subtitles all the way through?
subtitles.
I watched that subbed, man,
Why?
Subbed.
because the Korean language flows so beautifully. You have to watch it. There's no way that I'm gonna watch some Korean dude acting out, and then it's gonna be Chad saying whatever the hell he's saying in English. I can't.
Yeah.
I can't do that. There's no
Why
way.
not?
It doesn't.
It
takes
didn't take away from the show
It
at
takes
all.
away from the show.
It doesn't take away from
I
it at
can't-
all.
But have
Lin,
you,
look,
you can't
it
compare
could
that
be,
though. Hold on, wait. You can't
G1
compare if you-
G1 could be saying something, and I can't be like, oh, but that's Lindsay saying, I'm about to go first. Like, no, I don't want to
Yeah.
listen to Lindsay when it's a Korean woman speaking.
like it. The thing is like you can't compare because if you hadn't watched it subtitled, you know what I mean, you wouldn't know if it doesn't lose anything. Like I tried to watch. I think I watched the first episode dubbed, right? And it was just it threw me off like how like because I'm watching it like how often like they're done talking and then like the other person saying some shit and then like even with the translation at the bottom.
You're talking
Yeah.
about like 70s
Old
and
school.
80s, old school.
Yeah,
They don't
and
do
that's
that
the
shit
only way
anymore.
I want to watch my movies dubbed when I'm watching martial arts
dubbed
movies.
movies
From the
don't look
70s.
like that anymore. Right? It's
Look,
not
man,
that
I can't-
drastic.
No,
It's not
That's
that
how I
just
want
drastic.
my movies dubbed like that.
I
That's
couldn't
how
get
I
into
watch
it, bro. I just couldn't do it. I tried to watch it dubbed, couldn't do it. So I watched it subtitled, and I actually thought it was a better for me. I thought it was a better experience because when it's dubbed, you could get distracted and lose it, but you're still hearing it. Like when it's subtitled, you have to actually watch the movie. You can't be on your phone or like doing other shit. You're fully engaged in the movie. That's my thought.
Well,
I mean, that's my opinion on it.
yeah, and I mean, look, I wasn't pausing every episode, right? It did happen a few times where I like paused and I had to look something up. I mean, there is because some of the things they say, you would have been like, "What?"
I
Because while you
wouldn't
were
know.
watching a dub.
I tried it. I tried it because I was
try-
curious to hear what their real voices sounded like.
Yeah.
And when I heard their real voices, it ruined it for me.
No,
Like this guy should not sound this way.
No,
I like
because
the
you're
other voice
listening
better.
Timothy speak for Bogota. Like Bogota is not a Timothy, it's a Bogota. Like what
Timothy
that guy
did a
looks
lot
like
better
is
job
what
than
he's
whatever
supposed
the
to
fuck
sound
the other
like.
guy was doing.
Huh?
I'm just
No
saying.
way.
This is one of those debates where like you're not gonna convince the other person because
Right.
they're
Hey,
stuck in
yeah.
it. I
No,
can't do
look,
it.
I tried to watch it dubbed because one of these like one of the episodes, my wife she was feeling nauseous or dizzy or had a headache, and she's like, I can't read. It's like I can't do it. I was like, all right, we'll watch it dubbed. I couldn't do it, man. She couldn't do it. She's like, forget it. She just instead of waiting till the next day, she's like, we'll just watch the episode. Like I'm gonna just
And
I'll be a trooper and I'm gonna watch it because it's not the same. It takes away the
another
voices
thing is
aren't the
that
same.
when Jenny and I watch shows, we usually multitask.
That's
She's
that. Yeah,
like
that makes sense.
painting or
Yeah.
sketching or something.
But
Yeah,
that's-
background
we
noise.
Can't,
Yeah,
we can't like focus in. We could watch it, but we also have listen a lot. Like we look down a lot.
Right,
And
okay.
we couldn't do that reading the subtitles.
But that's not real though, right? You understand that like multitasking is not a real thing. Neurologists have already talked about it. We weren't meant to multitask because you have to just focus on one task so you can do that task well. That means you got to focus on your Casa de Papel and listen to it instead of listening to it dubbed, so that you can really get the full effect. You can't be watching it and
It's
then
not the same.
We've evolved.
listening to Chad.
We can multitask.
we
Maybe we
cannot
weren't
multitask.
meant to do that,
and we still can't do it.
but I promise we weren't meant to fly either. But we built planes, motherfucker. Like we can.
Yeah, but we don't fly.
You know what the pilot's doing? He's flying and everything that comes with flying.
He's not on TikTok.
Autopilot, bitch.
Huh?
He's on autopilot.
Sure he is,
on his phone.
But he's not taking off. He's not. He's got to
You
land.
don't know
that.
You hope.
Oh,
This son of a bitch. Hey, listen, man. Look, yeah, it's a better for me. It was a better experience just being fully engaged in the show.
Yeah.
As well, yesterday when we were talking about like Vincenzo, like I tried to do that too with the dubbing, and yeah, like of course it's not like as exaggerated as it made it sound like where they're still talking 35 seconds later, but it just was like the voices don't match, right? Like if you've only watched it like that, yeah, it doesn't make sense.
Start the show.
Yeah,
dubbed,
if you do that, but if you don't, you're fucked because it's like bro, like yeah.
But you're already taking away from the experience. So from the beginning, you're already not getting
what
the
experience?
full experience.
The Googling. Like I don't need to search
I did
words
like
while I'm watching.
He Googles one word. Googles one word. It's like you had to do research to watch a TV.
Now I'm researching. Now I'm researching every episode.
I'm that guy that hates fajitas when he goes to the restaurant. Fajitas are stupid to me. You got to build your own food. No, give that shit to me ready.
I mean, I get the fajitas, but I don't use the tortillas because it's bullshit. I just eat it straight out of the.
I've always hated. I think consensus is all of us hate fajitas. I hate fajitas. I think it's stupid.
It's truly pointless.
Also, like I said before, Mexican food is bullshit, right? Just like multitasking. Like Mexican food is just the same food served to you 25 different ways. Nachos,
it's all
burritos,
tacos.
Nachos, burritos, tacos. It's all the same stuff. Repackaged. It's branded differently.
100%. God, that I got real.
It's good.
I don't know.
Like, come on, let's be real. That's what it is.
That's exactly what it is. 100% agree with you on that, man.
Mm-hmm.
Now then. All right, so everybody, so me and Jonathan staying subtitles, Danny staying dubbed. I think we've established that,
But
right?
apparently, you guys can't multitask. Apparently, you guys weren't meant to do that.
Not only were we not meant to, we
I'm
still
surprised
can't
you're
multitask.
drinking while
you
you're
can
talking.
say you can say you multitask, but you're not really.
I wasn't
multitasking.
when I drink. I don't
That's
listen to you
the
guys, so
definition.
I'm purely focused on my bourbon, and I
Understood.
ignore you guys most of the time anyway.
Mm.
So it's not really multitasking. Like if I'm on my phone, there's no way you could fully engage in
Right.
both things. You fit in like
I'm
your brain.
podcasting. This is part of podcasting right here. Having a drink
Yeah.
of bourbon.
This is one thing, but like I can't do the podcast and then be on my phone, right? Like how do you know what's going on in the conversation?
Which is why we needed a
You
third
can.
person,
If you
because I want to
multitask,
be
you
on.
can.
I want to be on my phone a lot of times when Ben's talking. Which is why it's good that we have you here, because now I can just put this on mute and then just look off on my second screen and then do something more important.
Do product research.
Product
But-
research.
What neurobiologist said that, Jonathan? I hadn't heard that, man.
He hasn't heard it either. He just made that shit up.
I will
no
give
such
you
thing as
sources. I'll give you sources
multitasking.
after the show. I'll give you sources after the show.
Maybe you're not as productive if you multitask, but multitasking exists.
What do you got to say?
There's nothing to
What are
say.
you
There's
saying?
nothing
Like
to say.
to cover the bare minimum of multitasking? Like, look, I'm doing this other thing while participating in a podcast. I'm also completing a product research spreadsheet while also doing a third thing. Like, you're not doing everything very efficiently. You're doing it if you want to just say, "Oh, I'm doing it. I opened up a spreadsheet and I'm getting these things done." But you're not doing anything you're not being effective in any way. You got to do one thing at a time.
I think is that like a man thing? Because I think women multitask better, like quote unquote multitask better than men, right? Because look at like you know what I mean, like that Danny's wife, like raises him and the two kids. You know what I mean? Makes designs shoes and Danny, you know what I mean? Danny markets it. You know what I mean? Like it's
That's it.
yeah. You know what I mean? Like
That's it.
shout out to the laugh track. Thanks, Jenny. Glad you like that one. I mean, I think for like neurobiologically, I don't think men are as good at I'll say that. Like I don't think men are as good at multitasking as women. Like there's like if Danny's watching sports, that motherfucker can't talk to anybody.
I agree.
Like
with
try to text
where-
Danny when the Jets are on. It's over. Like it's
No, you're not getting a response.
exactly.
No, I agree with
You're not
Jonathan.
multitasking, right? You're
You're not
100%.
as whatever it is that you're doing. You're not going to do it as well when you're multitasking, obviously. But you could do it. You're just not going to do it very well. But you could do it.
It's percentages,
We
right?
can
Of
agree
100%.
to disagree on that.
Look,
It's just
I didn't
gonna.
know
It's like dubbed and subbed, right? It's just it's no one's. I'm not budging on
So,
my.
so when you're driving, you can't listen to something.
As in what? But
Like
so
music,
Podcast,
okay.
the
So
story,
when we're driving,
audiobooks.
what has driving become though? That's part of the driving experience, right? You're driving, you're checking your mirrors, which is part of driving.
Subconsciously, right?
that-
like
All that you're engaged. That's the entire driving.
I'm talking about
experience.
listening. Because
Yeah.
what we're talking about is I watch the shows dubbed because
Mhm.
I'm usually painting or doing something else. So I listen to the show while
But
I'm
that's
painting
completely
though?
different from the show. If I'm driving and I'm listening to a podcast while I'm driving, that's part of the driving experience. Like that's all in that thing. That doesn't take away from my driving or listening to the show.
because you're
whatever
checking
show
your
it is.
mirrors. I mean, you're checking
Yeah.
your mirrors if you're driving with kids.
I don't
you're
know.
paying
I used to have
like-
a TV in my car and I used to watch TV while I was driving. So I
That
guess
shit
I'm
is
the wrong
crazy.
person to talk to.
No way.
You're insane.
No,
Yeah, you're definitely the wrong person.
You're insane.
100%.
That's why you're paying $600 a month for insurance. All right.
No, I pay $600 a month for my insurance because I have my wife on my insurance and she's a horrible driver.
Well, then maybe she was the one that was watching TV.
Was now she's gotten better. She's the only person. Yo, Jonathan, you know this, so she's the only person ever to be. The insurance company goes, nah, we don't want
We
your
don't
money.
want your money.
Just go. Just go away. Just go away. Maybe I should take back the multitasking. If insurance money goes down, man, your money's. We're all set here, bro.
Mhm.
Man, that's just wild. I didn't know that shit about multitasking. I wanted to look that up. That sounds like bro science a little bit, but yeah, there's no like I said, like there's no way you could do all things 100%. That makes sense. But
Oh, yeah, of course that makes sense.
you're distracted in something, and something's not getting your
Mm-hmm.
full attention. Like you ever try to talk to somebody where like they're on their phone and something, like there's no what happened? They're fully engaged on one side of it. So yeah.
Yeah,
But, man,
that's the one thing, by the way, that I tell my kids. Like that pisses me off to no end. Whether it's me or someone else, like, and it's a generational thing, but because they grew up with phones. But when someone's talking to you, it's like, hey, turn the phone off, put it in your pocket, put it down, look up. It's not none of this like, oh yeah, While you're like fully engaged in the article or whatever it is you're reading.
Yeah,
while
but
this
it's not
person's
just
talking
kids;
to
it's
you.
adults also. When I go to meetings at my
I can't
job,
stand that
I
shit.
find it very annoying when people leave their phones out.
Mhm.
Like on the table.
Put it away, and then some
Yep.
people want to be courteous, so they put it face down.
Yeah.
Same shit.
Same shit because you're gonna check it. Yeah,
Yeah, just put it down.
100%. Yeah, you gotta. Like when I get home, I put my phone on the counter and then I go sit on the couch. Like that again, but it's different, right? Because like I don't have social media, so like I don't have that like that that
Itch?
want to that itch to be like, oh man, like it. There was some like legit detox where I was like, man, should I? When we would talk about it, I was like, oh man, should I go back to it? No, bro, you got to do it because the podcast was like, bro, I just like the cons outweighed the pros for me. You know what I mean? So I was like, I can't like.
Well,
So
I
I fuck
think-
with Twitter.
I mean, not to get like completely off subject here, but
No, it's in that side.
You were the reason that it was a con because you couldn't
Yes.
help yourself.
Exactly. Yeah,
Like,
I had
if
to
you would have
withdraw
just
from that.
used it for what it should be used for, just keep up with people that you know and stuff, it would have been fine. But you couldn't help yourself.
Couldn't
You
help
wanted
myself.
to poke the bear.
Always. I just had to like extract myself from the whole fucking situation. So I was like, I'm good now. Twitter's good. I mean, I post on there. I get all my news from there. Twitter's different because it's like it's people that I don't know, so I don't get bothered by it. It was like when I was like, yo, like we shared a drink the other day. Now you're saying that like people that look like I was like, nah. So like it was like a constant trigger. So I was like, I can't. So I had to like get away from that whole thing. And yes, so like not having that distraction of social media is definitely better. But I mean, so I'm still subtitles all day.
Yeah, all day.
All day.
Subtitles, not multitasking.
This
No,
coming
just
from
engage
Ben
in the show.
that doesn't want to read a book, so he just listens to audiobooks.
Yeah.
I
While
mean, I
I
listen to
drive.
audiobooks
Book.
too, but
That's
but
you're
I
saying
read.
that you need the feeling of watching it.
It's weird.
Flip
though.
the pages, man.
I cannot tell you the last time I read it, like physically read an actual book. I cannot tell you the last. I can't.
But you should.
It's him.
That's the experience.
I know. I have not done it. I can't.
Yesterday. I haven't
Yesterday you read a book? You read an entire book yesterday, Jonathan? Is that what you're saying
No,
right now?
no.
Oh, I'm about to say
I'm not the guy from the YouTube ads that says knowledge and shows you the Lambo and the bookshelf in his garage. All right, I'm
Yeah,
not Ty
yeah.
Lopez trying to sell you a $2,000 course on how to become rich. But
That's also
no, I
true.
read yesterday, yeah. And I'm going to start. I downloaded the app, so it's not a physical book, but I do have a physical book that I'm reading.
Oh, you
But,
got that? You got that weird thing where like it gives you access to the library, right? So you're like reading it on your phone.
Yeah, so you don't have to. You read
Pay
it, or
for
you download the
Like a
audiobook. So you don't
Kindle?
have to buy that. What's that?
A Kindle?
No, it's the app
an
is
app.
there's different apps. There's one called Overdrive, another one called
Mhm.
Libby,
Mhm,
and those are the two that and Hoopla. And so essentially it's like what Audible does, but you're not paying for it. So you just like log in, create an account, and then it links you to all the local libraries around your area. And if they have audiobooks, which is crazy because they have a limited number of audiobooks available. It's just a digital thing. Anyone should be able to access it.
Yep.
But they have a limited per book. And so if you want to read a book, you can check out the book, or if you want to listen to an audiobook, and there's 4 of them and they're all checked out, you just put yourself on the waiting list. But that way you don't have to pay whatever Audible was, $10 a month or $15 a month, whatever that
15 a
was.
month. Yeah,
But
yeah,
physical
that's
books,
insane.
I buy them. I have some stuff on Kindle, but most of them, I have just bookshelves. Like if
I
I
would love
want
to
to
have a
read something,
library one day.
what's that?
I would love to have a library one day.
Like
Just
a room
like a
full of
mini
books.
library,
Uh-huh.
just books
Like a room full
everywhere.
of books. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I have
Or
books
just the
in, like,
smell
the
of a new
attic.
book is awesome.
It is.
Like I love walking
And-
into Barnes and
better.
Nobles.
What's the last book you read, Danny? Before
Me,
yeah.
I started reading Rich Dad Poor Dad, but the last full book I read, I think, was Life of Pi.
Okay.
But Rich Dad
What
Poor
about you?
Dad, I started.
What about you, Jay? What'd you read?
I don't know if it's not a full. It's different stories. H.P. Lovecraft. So
Yeah.
I have three books of collections. One is of Lovecraft. Another one is Edgar Allan Poe collections.
Mhm.
Ooh.
And so they're both like about 1,000 pages. And then the third one is
Lovecraft. If you
Sherlock
never heard of
Holmes.
if you never heard of Lovecraft, Danny, it's like it's fantasy horror basically.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
really
not
good.
not
Like,
the same thing that the show that you watched, but
What got me into reading when I was young was Agatha Christie. I used to love mystery novels.
I loved Agatha Christie. Yep.
Yep. Yeah, I think you would like Lovecraft then. I think you would like the way he writes. There's a really good book that's like inspired by Lovecraft. It's called Lovecraft Country, and they made it into like a TV show. It's a really good book. I think I'm gonna get the physical book of that. Is how much I like the audiobooks to see if reading it gives it
Or
a
you might
different
actually
feel.
read. You like the audiobook so
Yeah,
much. You might
yeah,
actually
like
start
that.
reading.
I might actually read it because it's I'd say like it goes back to that whole thing. It goes back to that whole thing where like if I'm driving, like a lot of times things will be done. Like there's this book called *Sapiens* that was written by a historian, and it was like it's so much information I'm listening to, and I was like, yo, I can't like drive and listen to this shit. Like there's things that I'm learning here that like it's kind of frying my brain. So I was like, I need to. That's another one, but that's like maybe 1,200 pages, maybe more, because it was like an 18-hour listen. So it was like somebody reading you that shit at like 18 hours.
Well, I
even
recommend
like
Rich Dad Poor Dad if you want to read something. I usually don't read books like that. I usually try to go more into like fictional, but that was a good read. Well, it's been a good read.
All right, I'll have to check it out. Hey guys, after this quick break, we're gonna be back with the scumbag Urban Meyer. Hey man, listen. I want to say I was way ahead of the game on my hatred of Urban Meyer. Did you guys happen to read the link I sent you from Bleacher Report and the group chat about his like a team meeting that he had with freshmen? So I'll tell you. So he had a team meeting with freshmen and they had a PowerPoint presentation.
Was this with Aaron Hernandez on the team?
No, this is at Ohio State. This was at Ohio State. Yeah, it was at Ohio State. And they said they had a policy of no hats, no glasses, no sunglasses, and no hoodies. The image they used for no hoodies was Trayvon Martin. Right? So these are all freshmen coming in for football, and that's the image they used. And then like one of his former players accused him of it. He said, "No, I don't remember that at all." Then they did research and they said yes, that his like administration, quote unquote, did the presentation, but he had like no knowledge of it. It's always one of those things. 2017.
So it was like 5 years removed. Is there a chance that he had no idea what Trayvon Martin looked like?
There's
a chance that he Googled.
But there, no, I don't look. I don't know how much Urban Meyer does like his PowerPoint presentations, but like when you're like the CEO, which is a head coach is of that company, he's the face of it, right? Like nobody knows who the PR person is, but there should be a PR person that knows, hey man, this isn't gonna look good to show a young black kid to a bunch of young black kids of like what could happen to you if you you know what I mean? Like
no,
this is the no hoodie stance.
My question is whether it was him or somebody else, whoever made the PowerPoint, is there a chance that they Googled, much like Jonathan likes to do with words, that he Googled like hoodie, and then coincidentally a Trayvon Martin picture came up, and he just used that picture?
But isn't like, yes, there's that chance, right? And because that's what they said in the article on Bleacher Report. Oh, we had no idea at the time who it was. I was like, but can't you why put a person's face in it? Why don't you just put like a hoodie? Like with nobody, you know what I mean? Like don't single anybody out in that. You know what I mean? So like if that's the image you used, why is that the person? You know what I mean? And look, it's just go ahead. No, go ahead.
I was gonna say just that when I'm thinking of putting together a PowerPoint on things that people shouldn't wear, I don't think I would think too much, and maybe you should, and maybe it's something that people should consider. But I wouldn't think too much about like, should it be just a hoodie or should somebody be wearing the hoodie? Like I probably just Google the word hoodie and then, all right, this works, and then I move on, because people that make PowerPoints, he probably has to make one constantly. So he's making it quickly, putting pictures, and then moving on. Is that what happened? Maybe not, but I think there's a chance that it is what it, like maybe he's not a scumbag, is what I'm saying. For that, I know he's a scumbag for other reasons, but
for many reasons, yeah.
I mean, look, he said he didn't know about it, and look to your example of a CEO being the one, like the CEO has other executives and directors under him for a reason, because they're handling everything. So by the time something gets to him, he's looking at top level stuff, and he'll ask questions to get clarifying questions to get some answers, but he's not going to be down into the details or this specific picture or this one word, or that's just not.
Just for the record, I googled just hoodie, and this is me scrolling through it. Not a single. You see this? There's people in it. There's Kanye. You got Kanye. But
Well, like you said, this was back in 2017.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't know what he
the
googled.
algorithm
Right,
must
and
be
I
different.
think
Yeah.
things change. Like I don't know, and all I'm saying is that I wouldn't jump to say he's a scumbag because there
Oh,
was a
no.
picture of Trayvon Martin when, like, he is a scumbag. We know that.
Right. This specific reason he might not be the
I
scumbag.
wouldn't say that
Right.
because of this.
Can we all agree that he is a scumbag though? Like,
It's
I mean,
yeah,
like
it sounds like he's a scumbag for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, look,
I'm like,
do you feel bad for losing his job in Jacksonville, by the way? Because he had a 20-something, 30-something-year-old to come back to in Columbus anyway.
yeah, yeah.
And
I'm
he
sure
has
his
his
wife
wife
should.
also.
I'm sure
And
his
maybe his
wife's so
wife-
happy about that. Yeah.
No, his
Maybe
wife,
his
I don't
wife.
think she is having any of it, or I don't know.
Yo,
You know,
like historically though, I mean, I guess Nick Saban a little bit, but I've never seen I can't think of somebody, and you guys can tell me if I'm wrong, and I'm just having like revisionist history or the newest thing or whatever that is. But like he constantly is an asshole, right? Like hides Aaron Hernandez and other players like murders in Florida. You know what I mean, to win. I swear to God, to this day, I think he faked that heart issue
But
when
look
Tebow
at
to
left.
get out of Ohio State.
But I
to
think
get out of Florida.
I think that happens a lot in universities all over the place. Look at what was the guy's name, Sandusky or whatnot in Penn State.
Yep.
I mean, that happens all over the place. They know that their job relies on them doing well because
On
coaches
winning,
get fired left and right.
Yeah.
So they have to do well. So they do whatever it takes to do well. I don't condone it. I don't agree with it. But I mean, it's not just Florida. It happens all over the place.
Do you think it's like a bigger? It's a. I don't want to say systematic because, or maybe like, do you think it's like a bigger issue than just the Urban Meyer situation? Like you brought up, I mean, like with like the pressure of winning that universities,
of course,
will look over certain.
Go
shit.
Look. Ask any NBA player that went to school for 1 year how many classes they attended that 1 year they were in college. They don't they don't go to school. They perform, then they try to go to the pros. And the coaches are like, okay, well, he helped me win, 16, 18 games, whatever it is in college basketball or in football, 10, 12 games.
Yeah.
They don't care. The bottom line is you got to win to keep your job. And they're going to do it.
Doesn't matter what you have to do, no matter the cost. Yeah.
I mean, look, these kids, these guys that is their job too when they go to these schools. I don't know if the rules have changed, but before they got paid,
NIL, yeah.
Before they were getting paid, they're certain. I don't know if it was across the board for every school in the NCAA, but if you were on scholarship, you couldn't work, or you can only work certain hours, and so you're very limited to what you could do. It's your scholarship pays for this, and your job is go to practice in the morning, maybe go to class, or
you can't accept a lunch meal from anybody.
Yeah,
no,
like you can't go out
your
to
job
lunch
was to be a football player or a basketball player.
Sound like you couldn't. I remember years ago. I forgot. This is when like the kid from UConn like did a press conference after they won the national title. They're like, yo, like we barely eat, man. Like we're starving. We're literally starving.
I don't remember that.
Yeah,
it was.
I remember.
It was. He got drafted by the Heat, like, and LeBron after LeBron left.
Oh, Shabazz Napier. No.
Yeah,
it was
Shabazz
Napier.
Napier. Shabazz Napier gave a prayer after they won the national title. I was like, yo, like we're barely allowed to eat. Everything is regulated. Just completely trash on NCAA. And I think like my time frame is crazy with that, but like I think a year or two earlier, some like linemen from Oklahoma were suspended because they were at a banquet dinner and they got too many like packets of mayo because they're only like off and they were like suspended 3 games by the NCAA or some wild shit. So like, yeah, the price of winning is crazy, but like the pressure and the stipulation they put on the kids is insane. So like my whole thing with Urban, like I just hate Urban Meyer. Like anytime I get to bring him on, like bring him up, and because I hate him as a human, like I just hate him as a person. You know what I mean? Like, but he gets glossed over. Like I was thinking about it, like after he did this shit with Jacksonville, people gloss over the fact that Nick Saban, when he was the Miami head coach for like 13 games, like cut a guy who had a seizure. You know what I mean? And then the next day goes, "Hey, there's no weakness on this team."
I don't remember that either.
Yeah, he walked over him while the guy's having a seizure in the locker room. Yes, bro. Yes, son. Like I
can't walk over him as he's like convulsing on the floor. I
walked over him. He walked over him. No. He walked over him like Iverson did Tyronn Lue. Yes,
I refuse to believe that.
He looked at him and dusted his feet off of him. Yes.
Hey, Jonathan, you and your Google, you go search that up because I don't believe it.
Son, matter of fact, yeah, Google that shit. Tell me if because I have a weird history memory with that shit. Where like I
I
totally
would
think
hope that he wouldn't go ahead and dude's on the floor convulsing, and he just goes ahead and steps over him.
Hey, by the way, since you looked up hoodie, so did I. And look, I looked up person in hoodie, okay?
Mhm.
And the first result, white person in hoodie.
Yeah.
But that forget that it says white person in hoodie. I just put person in hoodie, and the first
Oh,
one
it
is
really
white
says
person
white
in hoodie.
person.
It really says
It
white
does.
person in hoodie.
But
Yeah.
my
That's so
search
racist.
is person. But look, what I want
He
you to
could be a
focus
white
on.
Latino though.
Yeah,
He could be
but it's not that.
Latinx.
Look,
It's
look,
popping.
these three that I'm going to show you, these are like dollar store versions of different people that like. This is the dollar store version of Aaron Rodgers. This is a dollar store, Dollar Tree, Aaron Rodgers, right here. Actually, I'm just gonna leave it right there because it won't come up. I don't think you can see it if I zoom in.
Sonny, can you zoom in? He
I'm
kind
gonna
of does
I'm
look
gonna
like
zoom
Aaron.
out and then I'll click on the picture. That's what I do. This is the dollar store version of Aaron Rodgers.
Holy shit!
And then
That's the
yeah.
great value Aaron Rodgers right there,
Great
bro.
value Aaron Rodgers.
Oh
So
my
let me
god.
see. This is what's the Target brand? The great so Walmart has Great Value and they got Equate. This is the Equate version of Tom Brady.
Wait,
That's the other Walmart brand.
well, that
Or
does
That's
Home
the other
look like
one,
Tom
more
Brady.
brand.
And
He does
then
look
and then this is a mix of Steph Curry and what's the other what's his name?
Clay
Uh,
Thompson.
Klay Thompson. This is like a terrible knockoff of a mixture of Klay Thompson and Steph Curry.
What the fuck is that? What is that, bro?
I don't
Why
know,
is
man.
his beard so dark? What is
I don't
happening?
know. It doesn't look right.
That's so strange. That looks so weird. Yeah. So I mean, again, 2017. It could be. Look, when was son? It sounds crazy. When was the Trayvon Martin thing?
I believe it's 2012.
2012.
Yeah.
I believe so.
2012.
Mhm.
Yeah. So maybe like
I
back
believe
then
so
that was.
because I was teaching a class back then, and I remember that after everything happened, that was like a serious conversation that I had with a lot of the students. And I'm pretty sure, if I'm remembering what class it was that I was having that conversation with, it was 2012.
That's
So,
crazy. 10 years ago.
and
bro.
they didn't know about the Emmett Till story from, I think it was
Not that long
Mississippi.
ago. Yeah.
It was,
Well,
it was like in the 50s or 60s, and they had the open casket and all that.
Yeah.
They didn't know about any of that stuff. So I remember I ended up, it was math class, but it ended up being history class for a couple of days because they were like really into the whole Trayvon Martin thing.
Yeah, because it's that's, I mean, to not know about Emmett Till, to not know about Tulsa, to not know about North Carolina, to not know about Central Park and the village that was there that got taken over by the city. That was an all black village. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of history out there that honestly I didn't know about till I did my own research. Cause I had friends in the army that were like, "Yo, man, you don't know about any of that shit." Like, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about, bro. I never heard any of this stuff. So you look it up and you see the pictures and you think, "Oh, this is from like 200 years ago." It's like, "Oh, I meant 1920." Like okay. Wait, hold on. The civil rights was 1964. Like all this wild shit. Like I didn't know about North Carolina where like they killed black congressmen and women because
Did
they
Urban
were
Meyer
just.
say who made that PowerPoint?
He said it was some kind of administrator, but he
did.
said he had no.
He
He had
tried
no
to.
knowledge of like always, like everything Urban Meyer ever does, he had no knowledge. When he hides the domestic abuser, that's his like assistant. Oh, I didn't know anything about it. The motherfucker teaches an ethics class at Ohio State while hiding a domestic abuser. You know what I mean? Like this just I honestly think the least egregious thing he's done is kicking the kicker.
Kicking the kicker?
Kicking the kicker is
Yeah.
like they're like, all right, yeah, this is
He
Urban Meyer.
says- in the article it says he wasn't in the meeting. He acknowledges that they used it, but he had no idea they used it until the reporter in this article told him about it. But that
He never knows.
he wasn't in the meeting. None of the coaches were present. It was a support staffer who was in error and apologized. So there's that.
There's a chance that whoever made that PowerPoint looked up African American in hoodie because he felt that it represented the majority of the ethnicity in that locker room, I would assume.
Just use that whole thing as a monolith.
I'm
Like,
not saying
all y'all
that it's
look
the
like.
right thing to do. I'm just
Yeah.
There's a chance that's
Usually-
why that picture came up.
Sometimes
because
sometimes ignorance is an answer. Yeah, I mean that's just what it is, right? Like, but it leads more to like the conversation of like, is this the guy like with his constant decisions of bad decisions, right? Given he's a winner, look, he destroyed Alabama with Ezekiel Elliott, yada yada yada. like his constant bad decision. Like we don't hear this shit about unless he has Alabama on a fucking NDA. We don't hear this shit about Nick Saban. You know what I mean? Like other than Jonathan, did you get a chance to pull up that seizure story?
No.
No, he got
I'm
caught
like-
up looking at the bootleg Tom Brady's of the
I'm
world.
looking at the bootleg Tom Brady, and then the picture that this Bleacher Report article you sent me with Meyer. Like he looks like he's aged 15 years. He looks like he's an alcoholic for sure. He's got some issues going on.
What do you, Danny? Like you're the NFL guru and expert here. Is he the worst head coach that's ever come up from college, or is that just like because it happened this
no,
season?
because he actually won a game or two. I think they won 2 games with him. There's been coaches that haven't won any games, so
yeah.
There you go.
Yeah,
I'm sure he's a dick though. Like I'm sure players didn't like playing for him because the thing is, when you're a college coach, you get used to being able. You're the one that gets paid millions. You know.
Yeah.
You can kick somebody off your team, and so they got to eat your shit. When you're in the NFL, they make more money than you. They're not gonna take your shit. So it's completely different dynamic.
And you never understood that. And the thing is, now I don't know how he's gonna deal with that shit going back to college if he goes back, because you got kids getting NIL deals, right? Like there was a quarterback. No, there was a quarterback that got like 6. Not. It's never gonna be pro money, right? Like that's not like the guy that got.
And it's a handful of guys on the team too, probably. Like,
but those handful of guys are their best players. Like what happens? Like what happens when he has to deal with them?
Right. But like for who has one? This kid King has one with the Panthers.
Yeah, but he's gone.
I don't know anybody else.
Yeah, no, I mean all those players are gone. I don't know anybody else that has them. I know they're like setting it up. I actually like the NIL whole thing, but I just hope he never gets another job again. That's basically I'm good. Like he's set, right? Like he doesn't need to work again unless he didn't get the. Yeah, he's gonna get another college job, 100%. He'll probably go right back to Ohio State.
If Antonio Brown can keep getting jobs, this guy's gonna get another job.
Oh my god, that dude.
Antonio Brown. Hey, by the way, I found the article, multiple articles. This was back in 2011. Nick Saban stepping over a player that was an alleged seizure incident, but it was Nick Saban stepping over the offensive lineman.
Alleged.
Yeah.
He allegedly had a seizure. Yes. There's no question that he stepped over him, right? Is that how the article's written? Like
it says it was alleged he has a seizure, but I mean it said the guy was look, let me pull it up. I'll share it so we can read it.
Okay, yeah.
So that way there's no.
Because I also misremembered seeing all the Wild West with you, so I never know how I remember shit.
Yeah. That's the Bleacher Report one. That's the one I want to pull up.
Geno James. I remember Geno James. Yeah. I remember the name.
You can read it. I'm gonna zoom in so you can read.
So now, give me an example of something he did to someone while they were there. Man, I ain't got my contacts on or glasses, bro. So you don't have to figure this. Are you gonna zoom in more?
Well, if this is an audio podcast, I suggest that you guys start talking because this is very
bad
radio.
Here it is. Since you won't read, I will read. Sedano says, "Give me an example of something he did to someone while you were there that made you shake your head. You're like, that stuff doesn't work here." Evans. And who was he interviewing?
Heath Evans.
Was it? Okay.
Yeah, Heath Evans.
And Evans says, well, the first day of 2 days, we had about a 3-hour plus practice in the morning in that South Florida sun. You guys know what it's like down there in late July, early August. Jesus. And then that night we had another practice under the lights. If I recall, I think it was about from 6 to 9. Geno James, our best offensive lineman at the time, comes in and collapses after practice, vomiting all kinds of stuff that would make a billy goat puke. Eyes rolled in the back of his head. Myself, about 4 other linemen are trying to carry him from the locker room to the training room. Obviously, it's a moment of panic. Everyone, we don't know if this guy's, going to die. I mean, the whole deal. But he's so big and sweaty and heavy that we actually have to set him down in the hallway between the locker room and the training room. Nick Saban literally just starts walking in, steps over Geno James convulsing, doesn't say a word, doesn't try to help, goes upstairs. I don't know what he does. But then obviously they get to Geno. They get Geno trauma off to the hospital. Saban calls a team meeting about 10:30 that night, comes down and says, the captain of the ship can never show fear or indecision. We've always got to have an answer. And so I had to go upstairs. That's why I walked over Geno like that. I had to collect my thoughts and decide what's best for our team.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
So again, he walked over. So he acknowledged that he walked over him. So
this is coming from the interview. This is what the guy said that
Right,
said
it
that
hasn't
this,
been confirmed.
and
But
this is
even
from
with
10 years
that,
ago. So I
if it
don't know.
was confirmed, Ben would still take him as the head coach of UM.
Oh yeah, for sure he would.
Oh no, college football, 100%. I mean, it's not even. He's the greatest college football coach of all time. Like it's not even a question. That's I'm not stupid. Like I understand that he's gonna be the biggest asshole in the entire building, but he's gonna get me championships. Yes. Sorry, Geno James. I will listen, man. My loyalty is situational with people I don't know. You know what I mean? With people I don't know is like if Pat Riley slapped a bitch and got LeBron back 10 years ago and he never left, they were like, hey, listen, man, sometimes
Hey,
I mean,
Oz moves.
Sometimes you gotta slap a bitch.
sometimes you gotta slap a bitch. I mean, I put not a bitch instead of having a pussy, but a pussy having no goddamn sense. You know what I mean? It is what it is sometimes. You gotta slap a bitch. Not an actual woman. We don't condone. We don't condone.
We don't
domestic
condone
violence.
that, sir.
We don't condone that. We couldn't bitches chitty line. But yeah, fuck Urban Meyer. I just want to say that one last time.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Have I shitted on Urban Meyer enough? I literally brought him up just to insult him. What are you reading over there?
Hey, I'm reading the next paragraph from that article, which says, well, listen, I know for a fact that people in that office, they weren't even allowed to look at him, for God's sake. Like I heard a story about his secretary telling him he had a nice haircut. He kind of grunted at her and kept walking. And then someone later, this Scotty O'Brien, that hatchet man that he had, came up to her and says, you're not allowed to speak to the coach. Don't you dare speak to the coach. Just nonsense. That Scotty O'Brien. He had a hatchet man. What coach has a hatchet man?
Yeah.
As a what?
A hatchet man.
Like somebody to get rid of people. Like when you don't
Someone,
want to do the dirty
someone
work.
that's gonna go break someone's knees if they look at you wrong.
Yeah, a body man.
A
You know what I mean?
goon.
Like a goon, 100% a goon. He's probably still with him at Alabama. You know what I mean? Everybody, that shit is
that's
wild.
a great story.
Oh my god, I didn't know that whole shit about a hatchet man. Y'all got hatchet men? Y'all got a hatchet man out there in these streets?
I got Johnny. That's a pit bull right there.
You
I let her loose on anybody that fucks with me.
Yeah, hell yeah, she's wild out here. I got Melanie. I got Melanie. John's wife is taller than him, so definitely got somebody to protect him.
So is everyone else.
All right, guys, we'll be right back. Yo, all right, man. Look, final topic of the podcast, and we got a special segment that just popped off today. We got fan questions popping off here at the end of the show. All right, man. Look, we can't. It's January 5th as we record this. Tomorrow is January 6th. 365 days ago, an insurrection happened at the streets of at the Capitol. What were you guys doing this time last year? And like, when did you guys know? And did you like when it happened to me? I didn't think it was real. Like I thought it was like footage of like some other shit. It took me like a second to like process what was happening. Danny, you first.
I saw it. I didn't think much of it. You don't know what the first thought of my mind was when it happened?
Yeah, keep it 100. Yeah.
This is gonna sound stupid, but the first thing I thought when that happened was, fuck, Kyrie's about to sit out because of this shit, isn't he? 100% what I thought. And he ended up sitting out like 2 weeks for mental health issues.
Yeah.
But I knew that this was gonna be, because that's who he is. Something like this happens in society, he's like, oh, nope.
They gotta sit out.
Yeah, that's it.
That was your first reaction?
Yeah, that was my first reaction.
Wow.
100%. Yeah. No lie. That was my first reaction.
Nah, you gotta keep it real, man. That's what we do.
And then, but yeah, I couldn't believe what I was seeing because I just, it's something you see in a movie. You don't really expect to actually see that actually happen. Yeah. Like you read about it in like history books and stuff, but you don't actually expect to see that actually happen. But I thought that, not that it wasn't bad, but I thought it was worse. I thought there was gonna be like people with guns going inside, trying to like shooting people inside.
Yeah. I thought that was the most surprising that there wasn't.
Right, like as far as I know, nobody got seriously hurt that I know.
They did.
Seriously hurt?
Yeah.
Killed.
Yeah. Couple killed.
I know someone. That name I mentioned in our WhatsApp. Ashley Babbitt.
There was
she got shot. What Yeah,
Yeah.
By
Go
who?
ahead, sorry.
by a Capitol Police
Capitol
officer.
Police. Yeah. She's the only one that died. A couple cops had severe. One cop had like a traumatic brain injury.
Yeah,
They got like stomped on.
You know what? I think there was a video of her getting shot, right?
there is.
Yeah.
I had to go
Yes.
find the
Yeah.
video because they weren't showing
Yes,
that in
I
the
saw
news.
it. Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Now that you say that, it just jogged my memory. Yes, I do remember watching her get shot, and then I found out that later she died. Yes.
Yeah.
But I meant like people that worked inside. Like,
Just I think those like the couple cops that
Yeah.
right. No,
died,
yeah,
but
yeah.
they were hurt.
I meant like the
yeah.
people that came in. I thought they were
Mhm.
gonna go in and try to do damage and try
Yeah.
to hurt and kill the people that were working inside the Capitol.
Right.
But yes, I remember that lady getting shot.
Yeah, and you would think that. I mean, speaking of that lady getting shot, a lot of people.
If I
said it
break
was-
into the White House, I'm expecting to die. Like, how do you expect anything otherwise?
right, especially
that-
especially if you're thinking if you're thinking the election just got stolen from us, our government just got stolen from us, and we need to take our country back. So then you must be thinking like you're going into enemy lines right now.
Yeah.
So you should be expecting that
coup de grace?
worst case scenario.
Coup de grace? The government takeover?
Yeah, coup de grace. Yeah, coup.
coup de-
It's a coup. Yeah. Yeah, like I remember we were talking about this yesterday. When I go like the whole mass psychosis shit, right? And I talked about it like in alluding to like a Rogan conversation about like not like that's a mass psychosis event, right? Where like somebody goes, "What the fuck am I doing here? Like, what am I like? This is stupid." But if you keep getting fed that propaganda and that talking point, oh, got taken, like, yeah, like you're gonna feel some kind of way about it. And I'm not justifying because I thought it was stupid and I thought it's how easily some people can get tricked. You know what I mean? Like, hey, wait, what? So like all this stuff happened to you, but he lost all his cases, but like now can't take that. And like I watched videos like today where like because they're getting ready to do some kind of like memorial or march or some shit about January 6th. Like the Trump was supposed to have a press conference or
Yeah,
something.
he canceled that.
Actually,
he
yes.
canceled them.
Could you guys inform me on that? Because I stay away from the news. I feel like just like you stay away from social media, I stay away from the news because I feel like it's just tragedy. And depending on the channel that you watch, it's going to be one way or the other.
So
But
I'll
did
tell you
hear
like
that
this.
Trump had something prepared for tomorrow.
Yes, 100% he did. He had like he just canceled it, I think, yesterday or the day before. Like he was gonna do like a press conference and all this shit,
what?
and to like commemorate, almost like
Like a holiday.
who know, like a holiday, like to commemorate and talk about it. You know what I mean? Like look, it was almost like look at what these people did for me type of situation. Like don't like that was like the whispers that you were getting from. Like, look, I don't watch mainstream media. Like I absorb it very little, like in 10 to 12-minute clips on YouTube of like compilations of shit, right? Like it's like I don't like to dip my toes in because I'm not on social media. Why am I gonna go dip my toes in or go balls deep into mainstream media? Like it's the same shit. It's the same angering point no matter the channel you watch. But like the conversation that this guy from CNN was having, which I saw the little clip of, was like people were saying that like it was everybody else but who it was, right? Like it was the police, it was the FBI, it was this, it was this, it was that. It was like then they have people in court like, nah, man, it was all of us. It was like we right wing as fuck out here. You know what I mean? Like, like they're standing up in court screaming that shit. Like, yo, I thought Trump was gonna pay my legal bills and all this shit. So he was gonna have just like Juneteenth, right? Last year, he was gonna have in Tulsa where like a mass killing happened to black people. He was gonna have a press like a rally there, right? So he was gonna do the same thing for this. Like he's not
great
not
PR.
the issue.
Right?
Great, he's not the issue, right?
What's the adage? What's the adage about
there's no
publicity?
There's no
Bad
there's no such thing as
bad publicity.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there isn't, and he lives by that shit. So, and people follow it, right? Like, but I think, look, this is my little thing on that. I think the reason why he shut it down was because he got some bad feedback after that. He had a Candace Owens interview where he said like, "Yo, you should take the vaccines. It's the greatest thing we ever did because it was done under his administration." And that side, you know what I mean, is super anti-vax.
Yep.
So like, he wasn't sure how many people were going to show up. That's really what it came down to. Like, if you're not sure the game's going to sell out, you know what I mean, or the stadium's going to sell out, you could be like, I got a cough, I can't make it, or it was a bad idea. You could just, you know what I'm saying, you could Kanye it.
Yeah, last month I saw a clip of him where he's being interviewed, and towards the end, he says, "Oh, you should get vaccinated." I took the shot. I got vaccinated, and the people start booing. He's like, "No, don't do
Yep.
that. Don't do that." But I think it was prior to that. Like I missed the context, but I'm sure prior to that, he was talking about how great it was because it was his administration that brought out the
Yep.
vaccine and all that.
Yep.
And so at the end, he was telling people they should get vaccinated. So you shouldn't be made to, but you should do it.
Yeah,
it was interesting. It was a funny clip.
It was, look, they could say whatever they want to say, right? Like, it was a concerted effort to overthrow an election that they just didn't agree with. Like that's all it came down to. And to this day,
I think they went in with no plan though.
They had zero plan. They were shocked that they were able to get in.
Once they got in, they had no idea what to do.
Yeah, they just started walking the halls like, what the fuck are we supposed? Just started open checking.
They weren't trying to overtake the government. They just
they tried. They were just too stupid to do it.
Right, but like if I tell you right now, let's go right now and let's overtake the government. What exactly are you doing to overtake the government? Like,
your question and my answer is I don't fucking know, and that was theirs, but they did it. Like we're just having a conversation. Like I don't know, so all right, so we're not going to do it. I'm not going to drive to Washington D.C. You know what I mean? And go to a rally.
Surprised. I saw something like similar happen
that drove
in Ohio.
To, where was it? Oregon and got all free a couple months ago.
Who's that?
That kid that drove all the way. Wasn't it to Oregon or to Washington State?
Who's
he
that?
shot some people, killed some people.
You talking about to Wisconsin? You talking about Kyle?
Was it to Wisconsin? I thought it was to the West Coast.
Oh, Kenosha. Yeah, Kenosha, Wisconsin. Yeah, Kyle Rittenhouse. Yeah, I was when I watched it. I was like, I was surprised that they didn't have guns. Like that was the most shocking thing about that.
Because I'm surprised that who didn't have guns.
The people who stormed the Capitol. I thought like they always talking 2A, right? Like they always talking 2A. Like if you feel, you know what I mean? Like I feel like that I thought that's when they would have the guns. So when they got through and like busted cops' heads open and ran them over with whatever and started stopping them with the American flag, Capitol Police, and then they got in the door like, all right, what do we do now? And nobody had a plan. We got real lucky in that situation that literally nobody had a plan and what to do if that's what happened.
Yeah, they didn't have weapons.
But that's still like not having a plan and committing a crime is still a crime. It's you know what I mean. It's still an insurrection. Like showing up to some shit, like breaking into somebody's house and then there's nothing to steal. You still broke in, bro. Like we gotta get you up out of here.
And honestly, somebody that doesn't have a plan might be more dangerous to somebody that does have a plan.
Right.
Yeah.
Because they're just looking for shit to do. And if they would have caught some of those people that work there, they might have done something just to do something.
Yep. Yeah, they had to take out their frustration because, like Jonathan said, if you're told constantly over and over, this was stolen from you, this was taken from you, yada 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 yada, you're gonna take out that pent up anger and aggression and loss or whatever the fuck on somebody. Jonathan, what were you gonna say?
No, I mean, so when this happened a year ago, there were Republican congressmen and women who were denouncing this stuff, that they were saying, that this went too far. But a year later, those same congressmen, those same politicians are remembering it differently. And so part of this AP article that I pulled up talks about how a lot of the people have been working to chip away at the memory of January 6th. So Representative Andrew Clyde from Georgia, is a Republican, described the siege as like a normal tourist visit. Now, I saw the video of where that woman got shot. She got shot trying to climb through a door that had been barricaded with furniture by the Capitol Police because they were protecting congressmen and women because it had been pushed back. It was right in that hall was full of people that had broken into the Capitol, and she got shot because she got shot right at the threshold. She was climbing over the furniture, trying to get through the door, and then the guy let off a shot that supposedly, I think she got shot in the shoulder, and then she died in the hospital from the injuries. That doesn't seem like a normal tourist visit to me. No. And then your favorite boy from Florida, Matt Gaetz, has claimed that the rioters. What's that?
The official Joker.
Yeah, claimed that the rioters were leftist militants masquerading as Trump supporters. So it's not just that. I have a feeling that press conference that was scheduled, again, we don't know, that was scheduled for I guess tomorrow, was going to do some of the same, kind of minimize what happened in January 6th, chip away at what we saw on TV. And like I
Don't
don't,
look
I'm not
up.
sure. I'm not sure that you can. I don't watch the news either. Like anytime I hear anything about the news, it's probably because Ben sends me a clip or something, and then
Yep.
I'll look it up. But that day, like what story can someone on Fox or CNN tell you other than what like you were seeing on TV live on video? Like, but I don't watch the news because everything happens after the fact, right? Everything gets reported, usually not live, but after the fact, and it's not news because it's editorialized. As CNN tells you one point of view, MSNBC tells you another point of view, which is usually in line with CNN, and then Fox and OAN and all these other like far right news networks tell you a different thing. So it's one event, but you're getting different stories, completely different stories. It's like, okay,
And
I
you don't
mean,
know what to believe.
where's the truth? There is no truth. You're just telling me what I want to hear based on the demographics that you're trying to reach. So I think I'm my news source is Twitter is a
Video.
better news source. Like you watch the videos, you see what happens live, and you can kind of make up your own decision based on what you're seeing. And a lot, during January 6th last year, a lot of it was on Twitter. Like you were seeing a lot of that live video.
Yeah, they were going
from
IG
people on
live.
the
Yeah.
ground.
They were
Yeah.
going IG live, Twitter live, Facebook live. They were like, "Oh, we're here." That's how a lot of these people got captured, right? Like that's like got caught up. Like if they don't ever do that, they probably never get arrested. But they're like, "Hey, I'm da 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 from Wisconsin or Michigan or Ohio or Florida. We're here at the Capitol. Okay, let's just wait till you get home and you're arrested." Like they dry snitching on themselves. It was the dumbest. Again,
It's crazy to me though. Like if you break into the Capitol during a process when they're supposed to be certifying this election, and you broke in, there's smashed windows. Capitol police officers have been stepped on. What's the expectation when Capitol police officers have been backed into a room and they barricaded themselves off and put furniture blocking off a doorway, and you're climbing that furniture trying to get through? Like, what's your expectation? What do you think is going to happen? That you're going to get over there and then just speak your mind, and then that's it? You think that the Capitol police officers that are hiding these people, that's what they're thinking as well? That you're going to have a friendly conversation?
Yeah.
So I don't buy the excessive force. We don't see that any of them had weapons, right? Because if they use any guns, because had they done that, it could have been ugly. They definitely outnumbered the police officers and the people that
they
were in
could have
that
killed all
building.
of them. Yeah, could have killed everybody. Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that you can't be violent and be violent upon enact violence upon someone.
Yeah, because like I said, that guy that had the police officer that had that traumatic brain injury and had like multiple strokes, he got stomped out and hit in the head multiple times with the American flag.
Yeah,
anything can be a weapon. Like that's the most ridiculous shit ever. Man, that's just listen. I don't fall into the whole it was the left, it was all these people, because like the person who it was kept changing, right? It was the FBI, it was this, it was that. I was like, okay, no, you're just watching foreign films with dubbing instead of subtitles. You know what I mean? Like we're just watching two different worlds of a thing, bro. So it was ridiculous, man. It was ridiculous. It was so stupid. I was like, nah, okay, this was gonna happen. Guy, the red hats showed up. Like I said, that's why I told y'all yesterday, right? Like that's why I didn't like that they used the red hats and don't look up.
Yeah,
because that red hat is so politicized and all this shit that like once they did that, nothing else mattered. You know what I mean? And you keep giving them things to latch onto as an excuse as to why they have to behave that way.
right.
Though these things were taken from you. You see, the media wants to make fun of us. Da 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 da. You're always gonna find something to be mad at if you keep fucking grasping at straws, and it's ridiculous. I got nothing else, man.
Did you get it off your chest? You done?
I'm good now. Yeah, I'm good.
Because it wasn't even it was my topic. I brought it up, but I felt like you wanted to say something. So
yeah, no, that's we all share in the topic. I was gonna say the C word, but like even if we're cursing,
anything. I think he pretty much just sat there and
he had
listened to you. This was the equivalent of a Facebook like rant, vomit, just whatever.
Get it all out.
You just got it all out.
It was therapy. Sometimes you know what? Sometimes it's therapy.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's therapy.
Charge $200 an hour.
No, definitely not. It's $40. Thank you very much. It's $40 It's $40 every time I see my therapist. It's $200 for you. You don't go to therapy.
No,
You just tell yourself you're gonna be a little bit
fuck,
taller
I'm
tomorrow.
a man, dude. Fuck therapy. No, just kidding. We already know that that's not the stance that I take, right? I'm a big
Yeah, I know.
believer in. I did go to therapy years ago, but yeah. No, what I said earlier was that I'm not surprised January 6th happened because something similar happened in Ohio, and it probably happened across all the states. I think something similar happened in Michigan when we had the lockdowns in 2020. I remember in Ohio, like people were, walking with their weapons, everything. Some states are open carry, and people were at the state capitol in Columbus, like banging on the door. I don't know if they got in, but like that was just. I was like, okay, so this is a sign of things to come. That was probably summer of 2020, and so when that happened in 2020 in January last year, I kind of wasn't surprised because I saw, with the buildup and everything else that happened, right? But there were signs
happening in the capital,
like that was coming.
The capital. That's crazy.
Well, it's like the reason that it is crazy that it happened at the Capitol. But John, like I was thinking as you were saying that shit, I was thinking about I want to say 2000 when it was a Gore
when that
v.
election
Bush
was stolen.
Yeah, when the election,
the Brooks Brothers riot.
Yeah, the Brooks Brothers riot. Like this has been building a lot longer than we can actually even think of. Right, where like they showed up to like the Miami-Dade County, like
where they were doing when they were counting the
ballots,
the ballots
and
the second
they're like everybody's in like a Brooks Brothers suits and smacking on the windows and trying to get everybody to stop counting. Like this has been going on way before January 6th.
Yeah.
This ain't some new shit. It's just a remix. That's all that is.
But you know what? I don't know if you've seen the documentary on that, where the guy running the campaign, huh?
It's on HBO Max, right?
I don't remember where it is. It might be on Netflix. But the guy that was running the campaign for George Bush admitted that he's the one that made that riot happen. And they're like, we won. That's all we wanted to win. We do whatever we need to do to win.
You got to Urban Meyer that shit, maybe. Yeah, you got to Urban Meyer it, man. You got to kick a kicker. You got to walk over a guy having a seizure. Fuck it. Win at all costs, bro.
It was just insane to me that he just openly admitted it. Like, that we got that's as close as you can get to fixing something. And he's like, I did what I had to do.
It's funny that you say that because a guy, I think last night or the day before on MSNBC, I saw the clip this morning from Brian Tyler Cohen, this guy on YouTube, right? He openly admitted what their plan was. He goes, "Oh, we raised everything into question," and then it was like, "Well, the election was still in question. You're the one that brought up the question." You know what I mean? He was like, "This is how we were gonna do it," and like he laid out the whole plan of how they were going to do it. 2000 you talking about? No, like January
Peter
6th,
Navarro.
Peter Navarro, the one of Trump's aides. He's like, this was the plan that we had. We had these congressmen and these senators getting ready to give their speeches and question everything, yada yada yada. He's like, but the people who shut up fucked everything up. That's what he's like. He said is like if they wanted to, they had to wait a little bit. So once we had that ball rolling, he goes, we had 115 congressmen and like 13 senators ready to back us, right? Towards the overturning of the election. So this wasn't just like a one avenue plan. They had a whole idea what they were gonna do. But the people who showed up from the Walmart crowd, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like from the Red Hats, did that a little bit too early and threw off all the attention and threw everybody into question. Where like now you see those same people. You see those same people saying like, oh no, it wasn't really that bad. It was just a tour.
You know, I personally know people that still think that because it was a fixed election that Biden will eventually get kicked out and Trump is going to go back into office soon.
Yep. Yeah. It keeps changing. So if that's the thing. Like why I don't.
They send me articles a couple times a week about all the different places in the country where like the shit's getting like
overturned.
Flipped. Yeah, overturned.
Shit.
You can't be
I get
serious,
videos. I have a source, baby. I got a source on the inside, and I'm getting videos, articles on WhatsApp, on Instagram, Facebook Messenger. Yes. I get it all.
Yeah,
I'm like, you can't really believe this.
There's people that thought like that they were gonna bring JFK Jr. back to life at the anniversary of his death a couple weeks ago, and that was gonna be the sign of Trump coming back, and like people showed up to that. Like again, dude, like how do you argue or debate that? Like, oh, okay, bro. Listen, if zombies come back, we got bigger problems, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's not the last thing I'm thinking is like Trump taking
As
office.
long look, all I'm thinking is as long as it's not the I Am Legend zombies, we're good.
Yeah.
Yeah, son, or fuck it, or
Those
the Train to
motherfuckers can
Busan,
run.
or the Train
28
to
Days
Busan
Later.
zombies. 28. Have you ever seen 28 Days Later?
The original, the originator.
Yeah, son.
I believe
28
that was
days.
also another one of my recommendations. Thank you
Yes,
very much.
100%. 28 Days Later is on Hulu right now. There's two movies. It's 28 Days Later and 28 Months Later. That's for the most terrifying. We get into this conversation every couple episodes. Most terrifying zombies are the ones that can run. Because what you gonna do? They don't have to stop, bro. There's no lungs. They're not breathing.
Are
They're
there any
just
that can
running.
swim?
That's not even fucking running, man. They're Olympic level sprinters. There's
Son,
nothing you can do, and they can maintain that forever.
hey Jonathan, is there any way you could pull up to show Danny real quick, like a clip of those like running zombies from 28 Days Later?
I probably could.
That son, terrifying, bro.
The
That's
ones
the
on I Am
OG.
Legend are pretty fucking scary.
No, yeah, but I thought those were vampires though from I Am Legend.
Oh,
I was picturing them as vampires, right? Because
because they couldn't be in the sun or something.
yeah, because they couldn't be in the sun. So I was just
Maybe,
pictured
I
them
don't
as
know.
vampires. I only watched I Am Legend once. I couldn't watch that again after like he had to do what he had to do to his dog. You know what I mean? I couldn't.
Yeah.
I was out after that. I was like, I'm never watching you again, you son of a bitch. You could have done literally anything else. You could have just like hinted that you killed him, not like literally fucking did it. You know what I mean? Like could have just been like, yeah, we had to put him down. Just give Will Smith a line like that instead of him fucking petting him in the clinic. Ugh, you motherfucker. Oh no. I was out, bro. Never seen that movie again. But 28 Days Later, Train to Busan, you can watch that dubbed. It's on Hulu. That to me is the
Don't watch it dubbed. Don't do it.
That
If it's a
is-
foreign movie, even if it's Spanish, I'm watching it dubbed.
Oh my god.
that's so disturbing.
This guy's now he's just saying that stuff. Like he's like, I watch. Like the next thing that he's gonna tell me is that he watched, and this is mostly all Colombian actors. He's gonna tell me that he watched El Patrón del Mar dubbed. He's like,
Never
it's
watched
all
it.
Colombian actors, and I watched it dubbed. It's
No,
about
'cause-
Escobar.
I can understand Colombians. I just can't understand Spaniards.
Spanish do talk different.
I watch
Were you able
soccer
to-
in Spanish.
I can't watch soccer in Spanish. I tried to listen to soccer in Spanish, and I couldn't understand
I
what they were
watch it in
saying.
Spanish.
I couldn't understand what they were saying. It was like a Real Madrid game or a World Cup qualifier or something. I couldn't remember. I was like, what the hell is maleta? Like I was like, what context is that even?
Maleta?
Yeah, I think the guy said like maleta or something. I can't
Maleta's
remember
a
what
bag.
Yeah, I know,
Luggage.
but it like I don't remember like the context that he said it. I don't even remember the word that he used. But I was like, I don't even know that word, and I know Spanish. Like I'm terrible at speaking it now, but I understand it fully. And I was like, I don't understand what word he just used because he was talking
I think
about
you
like
told me
Dani
portero
Caro.
or something like that.
No, portero's like goalie, right? Portero's goalie. I know that. Yeah, but I think he was talking about something about Dani Carvajal because it was like a Champions League game. I think they were playing like Atalanta or Inter Milan.
We're about to bore whoever's listening and watching this to death.
Yeah, we're going too deep into it.
Yeah, please.
Jonathan,
Let's just go on to the last segment, huh? Let's do that.
Last segment, man. Yeah, we'll be back in a second, guys. We got a new segment to the show, guys. Just literally popped off a couple hours ago, man. We had our first voice message from one of our I guess we could say fans, but I'm saying he's been on the show before. Our boy Kobe dropped the question that I want you. We didn't talk about this before. We didn't like dissect it. And I want your guys' opinions as soon as Jonathan pulls up the voice message here and see what you guys think. Let's go with Danny. Let's go with Danny first and see what you think about this question.
All right, here. Let's play. It's 20 seconds. I hope it comes through.
What's up, guys? It's Colby from Mississippi. My question would be regarding time travel. If you could choose to travel through time, would you travel backwards to meet your ancestors or forwards in time to meet your descendants? Just a thought, man. Y'all have a great one.
If we're going solely based off of whether I want to meet my ancestors or my descendants, I'd go descendants. Because if we're just choosing based on those two, I mean, thank you for somehow, chain of events giving me life. I really don't
No.
care about meeting my ancestors. That
You don't
sounds
want to go
fucked
back
up,
into
doesn't it?
a little bit, yeah. But I mean, not it's
I don't.
but it's not like, look, the time travel conversation is, it's not just meeting your aunts, your descendants, right? Like, the thing is, the person you are now would have died, right? When you go forward in time, and you get to see like your great grandkids type of shit, like
Right.
what you know what I mean, like that whole shit.
And I'm cool with that. But like, it depends. Like, I want to see like my great grandkids, but like if it's too far forward, like I really don't give a fuck about those kids because they don't give a fuck about me. Like,
They don't even know who you are.
we're so far removed that like they have nothing to do with me anymore.
Yeah, that's also true. What about you, Jay?
So he just gave the answer that my son would give. Actually, both my sons. They both hated history. Essentially, they're like,
I
fuck
love
history.
history.
I hate history. I don't want to go back. Don't tell me what
I love
happened.
history.
We're not going to learn anything from history. I would go back. I would go back because
Yep.
not to meet my ancestors, but you know
But that was the question. No. We're not doing anything else. He said to meet
We're not
your
doing that,
ancestors or
Yes,
descendants.
that's true.
And
Yeah,
based off of that is how I
we could
made
do a
my
whole
answer.
podcast about that other shit. Like time travel, we could do a whole like
Do
hypothetical
you rather meet
situation.
ancestors or descendants? That's the question.
Yeah, what you got, man?
I was listening to the question once again. I had to make, I had to find out exactly what he was asking. Go back in time to meet your ancestors, or forwards to meet your
It's to meet
descendants.
your descendants.
I
Yeah.
would go back because meeting my ancestors, in the process of that, I would learn all the dumb shit. all how history repeats
Hey, bro,
itself.
no, this ain't Back to the Future, bro. This ain't Back to the Future. You trying to get
can't
the
do it?
almanac
Alright.
and shit?
All
No,
right.
man,
All
no.
right.
Look, meeting
Um,
your family. Look, let's rein this in because Danny's right. Meeting your family from the past
I'm
or
putting a
seeing your
bend here.
family in
I'm
the
going
future.
off topic.
Yeah. Listen, there's only one me here. We
It
can't
was
all
the
go off
time
topic.
travel that prefaced the question that kind of throws you off because then you get curious, like, oh, but I would like to see what the future looks like or what the past. But the question really was just about the ancestors and descendants.
Kobe, you put some limits on
Yeah,
that
no.
question that I don't agree with.
Yeah, but
But but that being said,
it's you know what I mean? What you got?
I would choose to go back. I would choose to
Still?
go back because there's so much that I don't know about that's happened specifically to my ancestors, whether it's 2, 3, 4, 15, however many generations back. Because we just can keep going back, right? As many generations as long as we get to see our ancestors. So I would like to see where I came from and what they lived through and what caused them to make whatever decisions they made. You know, just like I know what decisions I made in my 38 years of life that have caused me to be here. I would like to know that story, so I would go back. And you know, the future, seeing the future would be nice, but you know, I think I would
You
like
have
to
no
just
control over it.
I would like to keep that hope that regardless of what our reality is, that my kids are going to have a bright future, that they're going to grow up to, whether they raise a family, if that's what they choose to do, that they're going to live a fulfilling life. I don't want to look into 2100 and see like I have grandkids and we are living in a dystopian society and you know it's
Controlled by
1984 come
lizard
to
people.
life.
Yeah, controlled by lizard
Yeah.
people, and everything's gone to shit. I
Yeah.
mean, for me, the answer is easy, bro. Like, I mean, got no kids, so it would be ancestors. I'd like to see where I really came, like where I came from. I'd like to see.
But what if you go back far enough, and it's your mom's side of the family, and they're like, "Oh, you're really dark. Like we don't like you."
Yeah, no, but I got dark. I got dark. Yeah, and I would want to see what that's like. I'd like to see where the additional pigmentation to my skin came from, because like I have three dark skin uncles, but you see the other half of my family all of them look like Jonathan or lighter. You know what I mean? So I'd like to see where that diversity
You
happened
got good genes.
in my family tree, like to have that understanding of the past. And like Jonathan said, like, yeah, to see what decisions they made that led them to my moment. But I'd like to see what, like, honestly, like, because I don't know much, like, because I don't know much about my dad, right? Other than like the little tidbits that my mom gives me after a couple years, like to see what he was like when he was 38, when he was 28, when he was 18. Like, all right, what decisions did he make? What was it like for him to leave Cuba and not go to Miami like everybody else did and go to Panama? Like, why did he make that decision? Like, why did you know what I mean? Like, seeing that whole, and that's the history of it too, right? Like, because I'm seeing my ancestors, I'm getting to learn like the privileges that I've gained from their sacrifices, right? Like, and even if like, and look, I can't say like if I had kids it would be different, and I would think, oh no, I want to see my descendants, but like Jonathan said, like I would have just hoped that I raised them well enough that they live their life, but 100 years they're not gonna, like, you don't know, you can't trace back yourself to 100 years ago and like know what that person was like, you know what I mean? Chances are that person is gone. So yeah, it's
As well, this
you
person
gotta,
is racist, so fuck them.
yeah, then and yeah, like
That too.
there's that too. Like I'd like to see like what the construction of like racism were and like was in like Latin countries, because it's not an American specific thing, and like how things like that evolved and were treated, and where the where the where all that shit got wild. Yeah, it's 100% my ancestors. I even earlier was like, even there's no question it's ancestors, just because I'd always like to see the past, because I don't know much about it. You know what I mean? Like I don't know what my dad was like. I'm sure he was a nice guy at one point. You know what I mean? I don't know what my grandfather was like. I don't know what you know what I mean, all the people on that side. So yeah,
Well, I mean,
100.
because you have so many unknowns in your past, I guess I could
Yeah,
understand that.
yeah, that's why. Like, it's to fill in those blanks, right? Like, am I like my dad? Am I like or am I more like my grandfather or my grandmother? You know what I mean? Like, who am I more like? Where do I get these traits from? Where do I like that like family history, and just filling
Well,
in those
Jonathan,
blanks.
so Jonathan, kind of going off on a tangent here.
Not
If you
good.
could choose between seeing your parents when they first got together,
No, that's
or
never a good deal.
or your kid,
Oh,
no, I
good
don't.
thing.
Come on, don't get freaky now.
Okay,
And
well,
and,
they
and
got
then
when they.
or
I wasn't sure what you meant by together. I apologize.
or your kids in the future after they passed. Which would you choose after you passed?
Man, I guess Ben and I both have daddy issues, but
Oh, do you? Okay, I don't know.
yeah. So that, yeah, that to be honest, that's a question that on my side is unanswered. Don't know it. I would like to see my kids, though, probably both of them, to see what it is that they're, whenever it is that they meet, if they do meet someone, and I
Like
would
if you
hope
did a
that,
good job.
and I would hope that they do meet someone, because I'm not talking about marriage, but just like human beings are social beings, social animals. We're not meant to be by
How they were as
ourselves,
people. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And so whenever they do meet that someone that they're going to spend the rest of their life with, I would like to see that. I would like to be able to like witness that moment, and like just, yeah, I that's something that I'd like to see.
Hey,
If we're
Jonathan,
just going that one generation into it.
Yeah, just one generation. Yeah.
Jonathan, I'm curious about this, right? Because like you're the whole fatherless son, right? Like that thing about it.
Yeah.
Like, you think that's why you want to see your kids, like, to make sure that like you left a better impact on them. You know what I mean? Because there's like having those questions that we will always have as grown men that we have now. You know what I mean? Like, you hope that like you didn't leave those questions for your kids.
Well, Dr. Phil, thanks for that
Sorry.
question.
Hey, man. Listen,
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure
Danny,
that plays into it. Like, I would definitely like
yeah,
to be able to see them. I mean, obviously, I'm in their life, so that's something that I
right.
really didn't have when I was growing up, and so I'm glad that I've had the opportunity to be in their life.
Mhm,
But
mhm.
yeah, and I would like to see what happens for them down the road, and if they do choose to have a family, that hopefully they are there for their kids, and even if things don't work out with whoever their significant other is, if they do have kids, that they're there for their kids,
Mhm.
in their kids' lives. So I'm sure
Yeah,
it has a lot to do with it, for sure.
100%. Then you got anything else? This got kind of heavy with this time
I
travel
know, Jesus, damn it, Colby.
shit.
I
Damn it,
didn't know
Kobe.
you both had daddy issues. I'm sorry.
Descend. I think what brought it up, honestly, man, is like it's that fine line of descendants and ancestors, right? Like if it just becomes, oh, what time in the world would you like to go back to or go forward to? That opens up a different conversation. It was like,
And can't go
but
back
when it's
past like 1965 anyway. I mean,
yeah, I can't go back. Like there's no question. I'm saying I can't drink out of a ton of fucking water fountains. I can't sit on countertops. Yeah, you guys might pass, but as soon as you start talking like, oh, you ain't
Yep.
from around here, it gets real dicey real fast.
just tell them I'm European or something. That might pass.
I think I'd pass the brown paper bag test.
That's exactly what they put, right? Like put the brown paper bag right next to you. See how
Mm-hmm.
you know? I heard this.
Terrible.
Yeah, we could go off on another tangent, but let's wrap it up here, guys. I got nothing else. Y'all got anything else, fam?
Nope.
We're good.
All right, guys. We are out.